Where'd they go?
So the only problem is it takes a while to set up.
Well, the band, they're going to get set up. I mean, this is the baddest band in East Texas. I'm going to say worldwide.
Oh,
I am.
there he is.
I've heard these guys play, and man, they're amazing. All right, guys. So again, give it up for the one and only Covie and the band.
Thanks, Alvin. Let's give it up for Alvin, everyone.
All right. My name is Covenant Olatunde. I am a singer-songwriter, worship leader, worshiper, and husband to Addison Olatunde.
Stephen was a deacon in Jerusalem.
I lead worship all around East Texas and the Dallas area. I also currently serve at First Baptist Church, Longview.
My name's Terrence Lloyd. I'm a senior, getting ready to graduate in December, finishing up with student teaching. After graduation, I plan to become a band director, teach percussion at a high school, and just do everything percussion for the district.
My name is Giant Boykin.
I am the bass player and saxophonist in Covie the band. Right now I'm getting a master's degree in jazz studies at the University of North Texas. I'm a jazz man at heart. Love playing jazz. I'm working on some personal records as well as playing with Covie. Just working to get my sound out and to influence my sound into the band.
Go on without introducing our one and only Giant Boykin, everybody, all the way from Fort Worth, Texas.
My name is Barry Martin. I play the piano. I play all the keys, some of them white, some of them black, most of the time. I'm also a percussionist. I'm a band director in the DFW area. I grew up in East Texas, and I love beans and pancakes. They're the greatest.
And last but not least, my good old friend Kyle. Let's give it up for Kyle real quick, everybody. I'll tell you a little bit of something about him. So Kyle is the very first musician, thank you, baby, that ever started gigging with me. And I think we met at worship practice at Laterno University. And I was like, this guy's so cool. He's just so calm, so quiet, and he just plays the electric like it's butter, like it's nothing. And so we stayed in touch, and we started playing in 2017, 2018, and we've been playing ever since. So this time last year, it was really, Covie was just me and Kyle. And now it's grown to become a collective, a community of people that love each other and love God and love music. There you go.
I am the band leader and co-founder of Covie. Covie is a collective of musicians. It's basically a group of people coming together to make music that glorifies God and turns people to Him, and also encourages and inspires artists like themselves to do the same thing. So Covie stands for Collective of Voices in Entertainment. So in 2017, I took a trip to Alaska, and it's kind of funny how a lot of artists' journeys start in a grand, outdoorsy place like Alaska. in Alaska, God really spoke to me about my gift and how my craft is not just for myself, and how I'm called to steward my gifts well for His glory and for the service of the people He's put around me, for my community. And so I really took that to heart. It was just an amazing experience. And coming back to Texas in 2017, I embarked on my journey to record my first EP. And in 2018, I released my first project, 5 songs. Kind of took 2 weeks to record, and however much longer to write. But as I started to share my songs and get more involved in community, I realized that there were a lot of other people who were like me, who wanted to use their gifts to serve, and there's a lot of people who really appreciated the gift that I've been given. And so as I grew, I didn't want to just form a band that was just like, hey, 4 guys like the Beatles or something, who just make amazing music and tour the world. But I really wanted to start a collective of musicians, a collective that would serve the artist population as a whole, the art population. So that's how Covie kind of started in my head. And eventually I started to connect with skilled musicians in my area. First of all, Kyle, and then Barry. Met him at a show at True Vine, and then Giant and Terrence shortly after in 2020. And that's kind of how the band started. But really, like I said at the beginning, right now we're a group of 4 or 5 guys who really love music and love the Lord and love each other and want to use our gifts to serve. But we're trying to become a group of musicians that serve the art community at large and help other musicians do what we do.
I played drums one Sunday at First Baptist Church in Longview, and the worship pastor there, Dr. Jim Simmons, introduced me to Covenant. Said that he needed a drummer for a gig in Tyler at True Vine, I believe it was, a year ago next month, I believe. A year ago next month is when or it might have been this month when we met. But yeah, and we played a gig. Played the first gig. I didn't really think anything of it. I just thought it was play a gig, get paid, and that was it, But turned out to be a long-lasting ordeal. I met Giant there too. That was also his first one with Covie, and it's kind of how we all met. Barry I've known for a long time, and I played a few gigs with him before Covie, but yeah, that's how I was kind of introduced to it through the church.
So about a year ago, in June, I was at a gig at the Longview Arboretum in Longview, Texas, of course, and I just happened to see this guy just walking, and people had told me, you need to meet Covenant Ullerton Day. You need to meet Covenant, because they had found out I was a sax player, and I was like, cool, I can go meet him. Where is he at? I'll meet him, And it just happened we met each other without being introduced to each other, and so we finally found each other, started talking. He found out I was a musician, and I gave him my card, and he found out I was a multi-instrumentalist, and I was playing some instruments that he had needed, and he's like, well, I'll give you a call. About 2 weeks later, I got the call, hey, I need you for a gig, and he said I have another gig right after that on a Saturday, so a Friday gig and then a Saturday gig. He's like, why don't you come on out, and I need you to play drums. And at first it was to play drums, and so my drums were actually in a storage unit at the time, and so I was like, well, if I play drums, then I'll need to I need to use somebody else's drum set. And so he said, well, can you play bass? And I might be able to find someone else on drums. And that's when he contacted Terrence. And so the first gig with Covie, I met Terrence, and I also met Kyle, lead guitar player, on that gig. Just wonderful, wonderful musicians. They very, very well rounded. Barry, I'm not sure when me and Barry met, but it was long before I met Covenant. I had met him. Actually, I do know where I met. He was doing his student teaching in Tyler, Texas, and I was doing my undergrad. And so I was helping out with his band as they were doing jazz region auditions for the region jazz band. And that's where I met Barry, and everyone was telling me, man, Barry is the truth, and got to see it then.
I'm at Covenant at a gig I was playing with Lodi and the jazz band, or the jam band actually, in Truvine in Tyler, Texas. He came out just to support Lodi, I believe. And he said he liked my keyboard playing, and I was like, thanks, dude. And he gave me his card, and we just kind of linked up. And he actually drove all the way to Saxe to have me record this song called Praise God, and I played some keys on that. And I believe I was the first in the band, because he was telling me about his dreams and his ideas for building the band that was going to be strictly about worship. We were going to cover songs and do all this stuff, and I was like, that's really cool, man. And then we prayed and we worshiped, and we were talking about music. I don't know when that was, but I feel like at least 2 years ago. But that's how we met.